Hello everyone, this is the SP Architect, and in today's tutorial I am going to show you how I prepared a scene like this. I have modeled this model with ArchiCAD and I have shown that in the previous video. I suggest you to watch that. In this video I have some tips for rendering and I'll inform you with animation techniques that you can use in your projects. First thing is that I have imported this model and deleted started ground. Instead, I used flat terrain. You can paint this landscape, but you can't paint started ground. I thought it was appropriate to use it, because I thought it might be necessary in some situations. Once I did that, I applied some glass material for that. For the glass material, I applied two-sided glass. You can also use clear glass. Afterwards, I darkened the color. I changed the color, but it's not important. I changed it in the feature anyway. Also, it's important to use reflection probes early. It eases the material adjusting. You can use brushed aluminum for metals. You can fade that, brighten or darken. After the material setup, I used brush tool for the grass. Do not use same grass. It's good to have some variety. You don't have to paint all over. Do not paint unseen places. For the Twinmotion rendering setup, just use the exposure setting. Also use the weather settings for your scene setup. I saw the class suitable for this building. I changed the contrast for better view and also saturation. To add the ocean, you must delete the ground, then activate the ocean settings. Here we can also change the style of the water. I used the brush tool again to add the forest. You can also change the sun position and angle to reach different lighting setup. Afterwards, fix the exposure. In Twinmotion 2020, one-click editing is possible on the vegetation. I set up the camera angle and saved the angle with refresh button. I wanted to show a forest vista, so I changed the background angle for the trees. For a misty environment, I changed the smoke density. It was not a bad idea to add some flowers. I clicked the painted vegetation and dropped some flower pack. It was too dense, therefore a very low value for that was suitable. I also added some yellow flowers. To make a natural dirt road, I just erased the grass with erase tool. I also added miscellaneous items on the dirt road, like dead leaves. I think Twinmotion 2020 must be improved with additional small planting with flowers. I found this exotic plant for landscape. They was too big, so I shrink them. Once I did that, I also added some stones and rock for the environment. I also added a photo-scanned lumber near that for the first scene. This is the first render with post-production. This is the second render angle. I set up the camera rotation and saved. Afterwards, I changed the ambient intensity. There is also sun reflection settings here, but this value is good for this angle, so I leave it with same. It is good to check up every settings for each render angle. I changed the values and saw that it was good or bad. These are depends on your likes. There is no fixed setup for them. Set up them as you like. If you have good computer, you can change these settings and increase these values. Refinement and max lighting. This is the second render with post-production. Let's dive in the last part. We are going to make animation settings. I decided to make a cloudy and dark scene for this. I added glass and changed the exposure and ambient value. We have spot IIS lights here. I placed this one onto ceiling. We placed this rectangle prop, but for this setup, I decided to change them with spherical prop. I copied this around the building. Since I changed the intensity of the exposure, I needed to increase light intensity of the spotlight. I changed the color with warm tone, yellowish color, then as you can see turning shadows didn't affect too much. After determining the light setup, I arrayed the spotlights through the building. I changed the screen quality to maximum. As you can see here, haze effect was too intense, so I reduced them. Since I instance copied spotlights, when I changed one of them, all the light was changed. Here this part, I was changing the depth of field. To change it, simply turn on and select target with target tool. If you can't see any difference, just change the field of view and switch to maximum effects quality. It's important to use that opposite colors in rendering. If you change the white balance to cold, also set the spotlight color to warmer color. Once I decided to all things for the scene, I created camera keys. To do that, I saved the first place of the camera. After that, I went to last position, then saved the location to the second key. I have prepared the second and other scenes like before. You shot the photos, then Twinmotion creates animations between them. Okay guys, I have tried to explain how I did this animation and renders for this design. This was a long workflow, not suitable for YouTube, and I decided to cut important parts for you. But if you want to watch non-cut version of this, you can find that from my Patreon page. By doing that, you also support my channel. Also, you can reach to other project files and download them. If you like this content, please leave a comment in the section below. Also, it's very important to like video for supporting. Okay, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching and I see you in the next video.